Alright guys, that is right. It is chest day today. As we all know, that is trained on Monday, International Chest Day. But in all reality, I say, fuck that. I'm not training chest on a Monday. Why? Because every other motherfucker's doing it. So train it on a different day so you can utilize the bench and all the chest machines that you want. And that way you're not overwhelmed with every other, like I said, motherfucker doing it. We don't need that. So, as y'all can see, we're loading it up with a plate and a quarter. That's my new warm-up weight. I remember back in the day, y'all, probably about a quarter would have been good. And even when I first started lifting back in high school, the bar was plenty. But as we get into this, guys, as you'll see, arm width, you're gonna go about little outside your shoulders. Never too narrow unless you're doing close grip bench, and never too wide. Otherwise, you're just, not gonna get as much strength that way. So, nice neutral grip, right outside your shoulders. As you guys can see, starting off this set with a lot of pause reps. Why? Because I'm trying to make sure, for one, I'm activating my chest, making sure we engage it properly to ensure that the weight is comfortable today, that I'm not, over stressing, overthinking it. And again, when I'm training, I put as much focus more so on the contraction rather than the actual weight itself. So first set, if I can't do solid negatives like you guys just saw me do, then it kind of sets the tone. I'm like, fuck, today is not going to be a good day, or fuck, today's gonna be a great day. Sorry for the F-bombs, guys and girls. It's just, it's the way I express myself. So as you guys can see, going into set two, again, same grip. Another thing you'll notice about my grip, as you might see as we're getting kind of zoomed in right there, I don't actually grip the bar, y'all. So I'm kind of doing what's called a broken wrist technique, as I like to call it. Again, nice negatives. Yes, right into the set. Not as paused as we did the first set, but I'm going to add the negatives as another technique that you guys can utilize to challenge yourself and just, again, add a little bit more difficulty, especially if you're using a lighter weight that you can easily control. So rather than just pumping them out like I'm doing here, you can utilize something like I just did prior and then finish it off with a nice little, partials once again, little pumping it out, and then again, finish it off with a negative to kind of finish off that rep and that set strong. Alright, y'all, so getting to this next working set here, you can see I'm replacing the 25 with another plate. Again, it's just funny how back in the day, 2 plates was actually my max back in the day, probably about 3 years into lifting. Maybe it wasn't 3 years, but 3 years into the gym. Yeah, 2 plates was definitely like my max. But now you'll be able to see in this particular set, I'm able to rep it out pretty nicely without really too much of a struggle. Pretty damn smooth, as you can see. But again, no extra necessarily techniques in this one. There's no necessarily pause reps or negatives here. Just nice, straight, regular tempo. Again, good contraction at the peak. I do add a little negative right here, actually. I take that back. But again, when I feel that I'm able to push out a fuck ton more reps, guys, I definitely just change it up the tempo, add in a technique like you saw with the negative to kind of stress the muscle earlier than it would be to do like 20 reps of it. I believe this particular set, once again, guys, is just going to be normal, typical tempo. Again, when you guys are doing chest press, you always want to try to do your absolute best to keep those shoulders, retracted backward, kind of like pinching at the spinal cord. So that way you're utilizing your chest rather than your delts. And of course the delts and of course the triceps will come into play, especially once you get fatigued. But again, this is a chest exercise, guys. You want to activate the chest as much as possible. As you can see on the negative, chest is kind of retracting. On the positive, contraction of the movement, chest is getting a nice contraction at the peak. See that, guys? So again, nice tempo, not struggling too much yet, but again, no added techniques here. Boom, let's rack that. Yeah, it was getting a little difficult towards the end there though, not gonna lie. Ooh, now we're gonna put on another big boy weight. 3 plates. Back in the day, never would have been able to do this, but again, guys, been lifting for about 15 years now, so this is not necessarily my max, but again, another weight that I can control without a spotter, something that I know I can do on any typical good day for myself. Because again, I have my bad days where I'll just stay at 2 plates, but I have my good days where I'll certainly go 3 plates and above. Again, as you guys can see, I never bounce it off my chest. I see a lot of guys bouncing off the chest. It's not that it's technically wrong, y'all. Ooh, and then I put the feet up like the Arnold. Oh, as you guys might be able to see, there's a band-aid on my shin. Yeah, that was from leg day. Don't worry about that, though. Hopefully you guys aren't damaging the shins like I did the other day. That was all bad. And as you guys can see, yes, I'm stripping off the plate, which means we are going into drop set time. So this is another technique, guys, to further, stress out the muscle, and again, just get more than just what your typical set would allow you to fail at. And fuck it, why not add some negatives to further, stress the muscle and break the tissue and fiber down. Again, guys, there is no right or wrong way to necessarily lift, of course, unless you have bad form. But to challenge yourself, adding in drop sets, as you saw a negative into a drop set, these things are all ways to challenge yourself, make it that much more difficult. And every single workout of mine is typically never going to look the same, because I'm always going with how I feel that day, but of course never forgetting to sometimes keep it simple. But at the end of the day, I mix it up, y'all. On this next one, now that the bar feels light as hell, as you guys can see, this is like a 12-second negative. I'm just kidding, but it's definitely 6 or 7 seconds on the negative. As well, I'm not even locking out of the top, so I'm not allowing the muscle to uncontract, y'all. So the chest is being contracted the whole time on the negative, as well as the positive side of the rep to keep the burn going. Nice and full right now, as y'all can see. We just getting started too, and I'm gonna put another plate back on. I didn't feel that drop set completely wore me out, so I'm gonna go into another set here, y'all. Again, further fatigue the muscle by not only doing a negative, but now adding a super long pause rep, y'all. Again, these are all techniques that you guys can add into your training to further challenge yourself, push yourself, and just never allow the workouts to be the same, so the body and the muscle can never truly adapt to your training. Even if I did bench press every single goddamn day, every single day of the week, but if I change up the reps, the tempo, and everything like that, guys, your body still will not be able to adapt. Now, as we get into our next movement, guys, you're gonna see that we're doing a machine chest press. Now, oh yeah, I gotta flex the wheels. I think it was legs yesterday, by the way, so still feeling nice and bubbly, but back to chest day, that's what we're doing. When you guys find a chest press machine that you guys like, this particular gym, this is the one that they have. It's actually a pretty good one. As you guys can see, I have a nice wide grip, and again, definitely pay attention to the grip. No hands are being used, so I'm kind of pushing right through my palms, y'all, but as you guys can see, the chest is really getting activated all the way through the stretch and all the way at the peak. I'm able to contract all the way through the upper chest. See how the whole chest activating all the way to the downward part of the chest, the lowered pectoral, all the way up to the top of the pec. So Again, really contraction. Nice and slow reps here, guys. Really locking out at the top, squeezing. Controlled negative, and then I kind of pulse them right here at the end. Just to kind of finish off the first set. Make sure my nips ain't slipping, so I gotta fix the tank for y'all. I mean, some of y'all might like that, but again, I try to be respectful, not be that guy. You know what I mean? And yes, this particular machine, guys, I almost wish it had more weight. It is a really good, not easy, but such in the right position. As you guys saw, I lifted 3 plates earlier, so this particular machine, I definitely could use more weight, but again, it's not as heavy as I would like. So what am I gonna do? Add some negatives, as you guys see me doing right now, to add the difficulty, but still challenge me, because again, if it doesn't have enough weight, that's how you add the difficulty, guys. If you add a lot more weight, you ain't gonna be doing negatives. So once I get fatigued, kind of rep it out as normal, but again, squeeze. And even at the bottom there, you guys think I might be pausing, that's still stretching me out a little bit. So now this next set, guys, I do believe this is going to be a drop set. So you saw it was loaded up, the machine, again, adding the negatives, contracting, squeezing at the peak. Again, one thing to note too, guys, is keep those elbows down and keep those shoulders down so that you're pushing through your chest and not activating as much delt and or tricep. And as you guys, as I said, guys, going right into a drop set to further fatigue the muscle, because again, after the first set of that, that would have essentially been the whole thing. That would have paused normally in between, 60 to 120 seconds in between each set. But nope, I'm going right into my next set, guys, to continue this drop set. Again, making sure, guys, to keep the elbows down and shoulders down to, again, push right through the chest. And then once I essentially can't do any more reps at that particular weight, once again, guys, you guys can see, raise it up, aka lower the weight. On this particular machine, because it is nice and smooth, I'm only lowering it about 20 to 30 pounds per drop, where normally on a free weight version of a drop set, you might be doing about, a third to about a half of the weight that you were previously doing. But on a machine, sometimes you can just get a lot better form, a lot more technique comes involved, so are not needed to be involved, so you're able to do a lot less when it comes to the drop versus a lot heavier when it comes to the free weight version, guys. Moving right along, y'all. Now we have the high to low cable flies. And as you can see, this particular one, I'm gonna use the normal handle grip here. I'm definitely checking both sides, as you just saw, to see that the weight is the same. I've done it before. You get on the machine, you assume it's the same, but someone on the left was doing tris, someone on the right was doing biceps, and they're 2 different strengths. And all of a sudden you go to do a chest fly and you're like flying across the room because one chest is struggling, the other one is going too easy. So always double check the weight. One thing you guys will notice when I'm doing these, the inner chest is definitely getting majorly contracted towards the peak and finish of the movement. If you guys are not doing that, you guys might want to check yourself. But no, for real, if you guys are unable to contract the weight in the center of the chest, which is what we're kind of doing here on a fly motion or movement, you might want to change your angle and or just lighten the weight possibly. Again, we're working the inner chest here, so make sure that is what we are contracting in each particular movement, guys. Moving right along, guys, to set number 2. Again, get your position slightly out in front of the machine so that you can get a nice contraction as the weight is pulling your chest back. And again, always keep your elbow slightly bent, guys, because again, if you essentially have your arms too straight, you know, the delts will come into play. I know it might sound funny, but yes, you might even be getting more of a bicep squeeze. So again, slightly bent so that you can literally have the chest doing majority of the contraction each particular rep, guys. Now, I'm not necessarily doing a pause rep there, guys, but I am doing a pause more so at the top. So it's not exactly a pause rep, but it's not exactly a normal tempo either. Moving right along into the next set, guys. Once again, you can see me this time adding some negatives, or sorry, not negatives, sorry, some pause reps right at the top or peak of the contraction where I'm actually squeezing, guys. Again, another way to add some difficulty to each particular rep before I go right into, I guess, the normal tempo of what you'll see most guys doing in the gym. And yes, we are gonna take this set, go right into a drop set, guys. So again, I didn't feel that set I was done. As you see, I took a little brief second, but normally a drop set you go right into it. But let's just say, yes, I didn't waste much time. But again, when I feel that I had more to give to that set, I will go ahead and drop it. And again, if I'm feeling good, I'm gonna just, you know, keep doing more, because that's what I'm feeling that day. I'm a train by feel kind of guy. No workout will ever be the same, as I said. Again, still really getting good contraction in the inner chest. Even though that set I thought I was done, but I just didn't feel that was what it was, guys. I kept going. Now going into this last set, guys, I do believe this will be more of a triple drop set, because now that I just did a double drop set, I can't finish on a weaker note, so I gotta up the ante one, as I would like to say. So again, as you guys can see at the top of the rep being finished, I kind of get a nice squeeze right at the top, and I'm kind of getting like a down and up movement. So I'm getting the rep pushed out at the bottom, and I'm kind of bringing my arm slightly up to kind of uplift the chest, if you must, or may, if you want to call it that. So again, right into the drop set. Again, guys, no rest. Literally change the weight and get right into the next set. And again, not much of a pause this one, because obviously I am a little more fatigued, but again, I'm getting the most out of each rep. Make sure the inner chest is still contracting, y'all. If you are not, then you might as well go right into a lesser weight in the next drop set, because it means you're losing the form over weight and or fatigue. So if you need to, that should justify how much you drop on the very next drop set. Again, position yourself, as you saw me kind of shift my weight a little bit before I started. And then again, make sure that inner chest is contracting, getting the full range of motion here, guys. Otherwise, you know, drop the weight. But again, if you're getting good contraction, then keep it at a weight that is challenging you, but still allowing you to get a decent amount of reps out, as I just did. So now we're gonna switch it up, kind of reverse this movement, and now we're gonna go from low to high cable flies. So obviously gonna be slightly different. The first one, you know, you're doing more of a traditional chest fly. This one, not that it's anything different, other than of course you're going from low to high versus high to low. So again, the movement is gonna be very similar, but you're gonna see here, I'm having to kind of use momentum a little bit, as in, you know, I just wasn't feeling it, guys, to be quite honest with you. And you're going to see going to this next set, and towards the end there, I kind of got a feel for it once again. A little bit less rocking and moving, and moving and shifting the weight to manipulate it in a sense. But yeah, going to this next set, guys, you're going to see The reason why I'm expressing it the way I did is, yes, I did just drop the weight. I went down. That's right. That's what I'm telling you. I went down on purpose so that I can, again, control the movement. Because, again, like I said, you don't go into the gym seeing how much you can necessarily lift that day. You go by feel. And when it comes down to it, if I wasn't feeling the movement because I had too much weight, then there's no point in doing 4 to 5 sets of that if I'm not doing it right. So now you guys can see there's a lot less rock. Chest is getting much more activated, a lot less movement now. So now I'm at a weight that feels good. And again, arms kind of at a slight bent position, kind of like an upward swing if you must, to again get the lower and upper chest to fire as you continue through the movement. People would think that it's only a lower chest movement. Not exactly, guys. As you continue the movement upward, it will continue to activate the upper chest, actually. Now this one, you guys might see I kind of put my arms in a more fixed position. I did that because, again, it's just going to get right into the point of kind of getting the upper chest right away involved, rather than starting from the bottom and further behind the back is when the lower chest will activate first. So this one gets a little bit more the upper. And I finish, yes, with more of a decline type of press, y'all. So it's more of a pressing motion. And as well, you might have saw that slight partial. That as well is another technique. Again, it's kind of like a partial rep that you kind of pick apart each little fix-it of the movement itself. Now going to this last set, guys, you can see I start once again with more of the full range of the motion by getting it slightly behind the back, because when you go about just in front of the pec, you're kind of doing like the partial. So this is more the full range. And then I'm going to finish off, guys, with a little bit more of those presses again, which is kind of like a decline underhand grip press. See that? So yes, that's more of a partial movement, but it's more of a press than it is a fly. Moving right along, guys, now we're going to have superset incline press with dumbbells right into a push-up, which we're going to utilize the bench to do the push-ups to make it a little bit more difficult, kind of like an incline push-up if you must. This is kind of, obviously late into the workout, so to move right into a free weight, you're going to want to choose something at this point that you can control. As you can see, I adjusted myself right there before really getting into the actual set itself. Again, each bench will be a little bit different from the next, so just make sure the bench is adjusted to your height and angle and so forth. So anyways, guys, going to this set, I'm not really worried so much about the weight, because if I were to go too much heavier at this point in the of the workout itself, I probably would have no control of the weight to actually utilize the movement and the focus of the exercise to my advantage, because I would just be doing a bunch of sloppy ass reps, and we don't want that. So like I said, utilizing a bench to go right into kind of like a decline type of a push up here, guys, just add a little more difficulty, and again adding some negatives. But at this point, guys, it's not meant to be easy. In the second set, guys, you can see me pumping myself up a little bit, because that first set was a little difficult, at least for the push-ups anyways. And so going to this next set, guys, just remember, pick a weight you can control. I'm not progressively overloading here or anything like that. I'm just keeping the same weight because it's what I'm feeling I can control right now, rather than worrying about my ego to continue to go up weight. But again, getting a nice control in the negative and getting a nice contraction at the peak before I return it back to its starting position on each particular rep. And again, guys, don't worry so much about the weight, rather than focus on good rep tempo, let alone good reps in general. And then, of course, yes, we're gonna go right into another set of push-ups to superset it with. And you guys are gonna see on this particular set, like I just told you, I don't get much more than, I wanna say, 5 out of this one. Well, almost 6. But anyways, like I said, y'all, I am fucking fatigued, so it's all good. At the end of the day, if you can do a whole lot of push-ups there, then maybe you should be jumping up in the weight when it comes to your dumbbells. So going to this next set, I just kind of keep it right where it's at with the dumbbells. Again, I know I can control this right now. Obviously, the push-ups are telling me that I'm fatigued. And yeah, guys, just going right along into my next set. Again, focusing on getting good, solid reps. Doesn't matter the weight. So yeah, right at the end there, guys, you see I wasn't able to get like full range of motion. So when I do that, that's why I took a little bit of pause right at the end, just to ensure that, you know, when I did go up to contract, I did get the most out of it. And now going into our last set of push-ups here, you guys can see I changed my grip a little bit, or not grip, but more so hand placement, and placed the hands facing out. But you know what? That did not really change how many reps I'm gonna get out of it. Plus, I also was adding some negatives to just add a little bit more difficulty. Now to finish up this chest day, y'all, we're gonna do a close grip bench on the Smith machine over here. And we gonna make it a drop set. Why not? But no, for real, maybe been a little overzealous here by you know, putting on the 3 plates, but I figured worst comes to worst, I'm on a Smith machine. If I do fail, I have the ability to lock it out, so I am gonna challenge myself. I think I get about 4 or 5 reps here, y'all. But again, it's not necessarily I'm worried about a fuck ton of reps on the first set. You want to maximize the most amount of weight you can do before dropping the weight, and then again, the reps will continue to go upward as you drop the weight, yo. So again, now I'm dropping it down to 2 plates, as you can see, and there is no rest time. It's literally drop the weight and get right back into the set. I brought the legs up just to, again, just draw a little bit more blood right into the chest. One thing you guys want to notice too is with this type of movement, close grip, you're really thinking just kind of squeeze those titties together. But no, for real, you really want to really squeeze the inner chest together, guys. It's really going to help you focus just on the chest. Obviously, the triceps in this particular movement will come into play as it is a close grip. The wider you go, naturally the delts will want to come into play, and the closer you go, the triceps will come into play. But again, focus on the chest first rather than the triceps or the delts being the primary, rather they should be the secondary. Now on this one, because it's a little bit lighter and it feels light as hell, even though I'm tired as fuck, yes guys, I am doing some negatives to add a little bit more difficulty, and again, really getting that squeeze at the top, because I'm able to now with a little bit lighter weight. Get a decent amount of reps out of this one, but again, add the negatives, add the squeeze. That'll continue to take more and more out of you each individual rep, guys. Now you guys probably thought I was done, but no, I'm gonna finish off this really good chest day with some more push-ups, more of an incline push-up here, but yeah guys, like I said, don't ever be afraid to kind of challenge yourself and you know, try all these variations you guys saw me doing throughout the whole entire workout. So these pause reps, these negatives, these partials, all these things, guys, I challenge you, try this workout, add all these sets and these different variations in, and enjoy the process. And I will see y'all at the next one.